Nope, no phone for me.
I had an issue like 3 years ago or something. I was like a day or two before I like went out of the country, and my phone would not make phone calls anymore. I could receive phone calls. I could just not make any phone calls. It's very strange.
Boy, yeah, there's apparently a fiber optic line cut in Brooklyn, New York, that took out a good chunk of the internet for folks on the East Coast, especially if you were a subscriber to Verizon's internet service for your home.
I had a similar story. I was in Southern California, and someone over on the Arizona-Nevada border managed to somehow do something and disconnect the power to like everyone in Southern California. So that was fun.
Ooh. My favorite is when I was living in Connecticut. There's apparently like 2 different fiber optic lines that at the time served the entire internet to the state of Connecticut. And one of them was chewed up by a gopher and knocked off the internet for half a day as they discovered the little gopher had died from eating the fiber optic internet cable and knocked everyone's service out.
There was one time I was playing, like I must have been like 10 years old or something, and I was playing I think like Pilot Wings for the N64, and I'm like playing around, and all of a sudden I couldn't move anymore. I'm like, what's going down? And I looked down, and my bunny had eaten through my controller's cable. It's like, what is
boy.
This?
It is brutal out there. It's like the poor wires, everyone just wants to eat them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with animals and liking to eat wires.
Yeah, well, so when I was having Comcast issues, they told me the squirrels ate the wire going to my condo. And so they had to replace the squirrel eating wires. Ew. I guess they just see it. They're like, looks exactly like pasta. And then they'd go for it. All right. I will get the screen share working. All right, and we'll give folks another minute to come on in. But yeah, no, sorry, I copied and pasted the wrong link, or maybe just not the entire link to the room earlier. All right, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Code for Boston. My name is Matt, and I'm on the leadership team here at Code for Boston, along with you got Alex and Thad, and maybe some other folks in the room. So if you have some questions, need help with anything, feel free to ask one of us. We'll be more than happy to help you. With opening remarks at 7:05, which is now, and after that, we will then have new member orientation for all the new folks, and everyone else can head out and start hacking. So we are on week 47 of virtual hack nights, if you can believe it or not. So almost approaching 1 year of doing it virtually. And I think the one thing I've taken away from this is we can code it. Doesn't matter, how far apart we are. Doesn't matter, what sorts of things have been coming through. We've had a whole bunch of new projects roll out since this has started. Folks have continued to be engaged, which is awesome. We've had a whole lot of different kinds of projects and people get involved, which is awesome. And continue to want folks to encourage their friends to join and get involved. And so just want to say that continue to be proud of the community for, keeping at it, and definitely excited to see as we continue to talk to folks about new project ideas and think about spinning things up. No matter when we start coming back together in person, we will continue to be doing this virtually as well. But I definitely am glad that, things. First and foremost, read our code of conduct at codeforboston.org. The gist of the code of conduct is we need folks to, be respectful with each other. And if someone is not being respectful with you, talk to me or one of the other folks on leadership, and we will take care of that. Also, want to encourage folks to connect with us. If you go to our website at codeforboston.org, there's a connect spot, and it's a bunch of different ways to keep track of Code for Boston news. The biggest one being our weekly email newsletter that I work on and send out on Wednesday mornings. So if you want to get the project updates and that sort of thing, that's really the best way to keep up to date besides coming to Hack Night. Head off to meetup.com/codeforboston RSVP if you want to continue to boost us in the meetup algorithm and help new community members find out about Code for Boston. I definitely appreciate everyone who does do that week after week. And even if I screw up the link to the Zoom in the Code for Boston Slack, you can almost always find the correct link at codeforboston.org/room/CFB. Pro tip, add it to your bookmarks, and then you can just click it in your bookmark, and then you'll land in the right place, because it's a redirect that I can update to whenever the Zoom link changes. And of course, if you are watching us on YouTube, or if you are in the Zoom but not yet in Slack, Slack is where our community happens, where a lot of folks can talk to each other and coordinate their projects. So get your invite at slack.codeforboston.org. I promise you it's very easy to get in, and then you'll be able to find out what's happening and also say hello to everyone. And then finally, we are a donation run brigade. So if you want to donate to us, you can do that online at that URL. And if your company or organization wants to support us, talk to Harlan or I. We're more than happy to do things like sponsored workshops or that sort of thing. So with that, let's move on to project updates. And so for that, let's start with My City.
Hey everyone, last week we were working through some issues with our continuous integration testing, and we've moved over to using GitHub Actions. So thank you for everyone who gave us some advice and confidence in the general chat that was a smart move to do. So we'll get back this week to working on some features, probably continuing to work on this the trash request and improving that to get more information like yard waste days and other sort of features that have been requested for that. That is us for My City this week.
Thanks, Jamie. And I will +1 the yard waste days. Those are always valuable to know as someone with a yard in the city of Boston. Next is Safe Water Project.
Hello. So last week we added a little like tooltip that shows all the boathouses. It's nice and clean. We did a lot of refactoring. This week we will add some stuff to our like caching for our dynamic pages that don't actually change that much, and some more optimizations and stuff like that.
Great. How about Job Hopper?
So for Job Hopper, it's been all about the tree map, the big tree map, and the changes that we wanted to do to that. And at the end of our hack session last week, Sasha pulled up, showed us that she had all the colors and the SOC codes clustered. And so there was more work to be done with getting the colors to stick together and things like that. So we hope to review that tonight. And we'll be moving on with polishing the tree map and completing that portion of our minimum viable product that would have us complete the project. But we'll see. We've still got a little bit more work to do on that.
Awesome. Thanks, Ed. Next is the Good Governance Project Advocacy Map.
Hi, everyone. I'm Matt Victor. I'm a student of BC Law, and we've got this project together, moving along pretty well. We're 4 weeks in, and we've got a solid framework for the back end set up. Front end, we're playing around with some things, and we're pulling the map from Act en Masse into our framework that we've set up, and things are moving along well. So we are looking at some data issues that we're working through. So we need maybe some data people, as well as definitely front end design help. We've got a lot of important information we're trying to put out there and trying to think of compelling ways to put it together. So front end is definitely a need for us.
Great. Thanks, Matt. Next is Plug Along.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eva from Plug Along. Plug Along is now available in the iOS App Store. So thank you. If it were good plugging weather, I would tell you all to download it and pick up one piece of trash, but unfortunately it just snowed, so I would say wait a little while. But we are, I guess, moving on to the next release.
Great. We will have to have some launch tweets going, so feel free to send me some content if you want me to think about maybe after the snow, doing a little bit of a launch promotion there. And I don't know, maybe we'll find some influencers to get this thing to go viral. All right. Thanks and congrats, Eva. Next is Clean Slate.
Clean Slate had some great conversations with the data team had some great conversations with our partners last week. A lot of excitement about the progress there and about the questions we can ask with the data we have. On the app side, we are working on the business logic for adult sealing, which is exciting. It's an exciting world of tables and charts and lots of question marks. And also on developing the testing framework for DocAssemble itself that can be abstracted for any DocAssemble project. So both of those are exciting there.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. And last but not least, Windfall Awareness.
Thank you, Matt. Last week on Windfall, we initially approved some pull requests that are needed at the beginning of every year. And got some nice code review from the team. And the second thing we did was fix our tests, which had broken from and we had the fix in one of the branches. We needed to merge it. We got a giant branch merged using a feature toggle. So really handy thing for giant branches where maybe you want to just be able to use an environment variable to turn on or off a feature in JavaScript. So we're really excited to get that merged. And today I'm going to do the final commit for that, and we're going to test it a little bit in the live server. And then we're going to continue working on the code so that we don't need the feature toggle anymore. Yeah, welcome JavaScript, TypeScript, and WebAssembly developers.
Excellent. Thanks, Thad. So with that, new folks, stay here in this Zoom, and in a couple minutes, we will get started with new member orientation. Everyone else, enjoy the rest of your evening and happy hacking.